This is episode 104 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and we've got another tale of Sean versus Sam flying pretty standard lists for them, actually.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But before we get to that, we start this evening's episode with some bad news. Sam and I.
or maybe if you don't like us, pretty good news. But for some reason, if for some reason you're still here,
Yeah, that's true. You've listened to our 100 plus episodes and still don't like us. I admire the dedication. This will be the penultimate episode of the Out of the Minds podcast for the foreseeable future. I won't say forever. Sam and I have been talking about this for a couple of months now, I think.
yeah.
And it's just a case of life's got busier, a lot busier. Obviously, things were very different when we started 2 years ago. It's a mixture of Sam and I are both playing more games now, which is great. I need to spend a bit more time with the wife, which is also great. My little child is not so little anymore and requires more of my time.
That's great as well.
Yeah, it's been harder and harder to try and find the time to squeeze this in, which is a shame because I enjoy doing it. So we were going to end it after the Welsh Open because we thought that'd be a really nice point to stop. But with us ending up having our store championship 2 weeks later, we've decided to end it after that instead. So, ironically, when this episode gets released, we'll have played it yesterday, so we'll know how well we've done. But we will be back.
Badly.
How badly? But we will be back next week to get one last game in. Sam and I've got something special planned, and a quick review of how we did at the event. Who knows? Down the line, we may be back if we schedules and time allow it. I'd quite like to.
Same.
I'm not going to which on much longer. I would just like to say thank you to everybody who listened. It's why we do it. Let's crack on with today's episode.
Yes, indeed. And so we have a glorious, glorious battle of First Order versus Separatists.
Yes.
Aces versus aces.
Yes. I've wanted to fly some proper First Order for a while. And I flew it a little bit, but Sam and I have ironically had this discussion before the Welsh Open about one of my biggest problems is chopping and changing lists all the time, and not getting enough reps in with the same list. And I wanted to fly First Order. I didn't have time to do it for the Welsh Open because I knew I couldn't get the reps in. And then I was like, oh, do I do it for our event because I can't get the reps in, and I'm going to another store event the week after. I was like, oh, maybe I should fly my Rebel list. And I was like, well, I also know that I've got 2 store events in September that I have a chance to win it. So I was like, just start practicing now. That's like 2 solid months of good practice then. Use the events as practice and learn. So, I'm not set on a exact list. I'm reasonably confident it's going to have Kylo Whisper in it, because Kylo's been good. So my current list is basically a list that was talked about on the GSP First Order Discord that Crispy's been flying a lot recently. I've tweaked some upgrades on Von Reg. But I'll still be playing around with that. And the list basically consists of Blackout in the Silencer with Predator, Primed Thrusters, and Sensor Scramblers. Kylo in the Whisper with Brilliant Evasion, Malice, Predator, Pattern Analyzer, and the Jamming Suite. Wrath in the Whisper with Predator, Marksmanship, Ion Cannon, Pattern Analyzer, and Enhanced Jamming Suite. And then Major Von Reg with Marksmanship, Magpulse Warheads, Munitions Failsafe, and a Shield upgrade.
Yeah, so nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have caved, functionally. I've not been able to find a droid list that is scratching my itch for gaming, and I'm too competitive to want to fly lists that I think are bad, even though they probably aren't. I just need to give them more time. So here I am with double fire spray and dirge.
But wait, Sam, don't you hate fire sprays?
I do hate fire sprays. They're boring, and I suck with them. They always die. So then I came to the conclusion that actually, maybe I should just play it a bunch until I don't suck.
So effectively, we're trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
Just you're homing in on a specific part of your faction.
Yes. However, I do not exclude the fact that I might just randomly pivot and fly 4 gunships and Wattam board, because I've also had success with that, and boy, is that fun. I just want to actually take our event as seriously as possible.
No,
because obviously this is the real world.
Please fly Wattam board and 4 gunships, because I feel I do better against that.
Your list probably does.
Yeah.
Your list ruins everything my list wants to do. But anyway, back to my list. We've got double fire spray and dirge, and you get a mystery bonus point if you can guess which 2 fire sprays I'm using. The bonus point cannot be used for anything inside Tin Squadron. It is just a glorious trophy.
I'm gonna go with Boba Fett and Aura Singh.
I mean, I'd love to use those 2, and they would be fun. I'd be able to get a Sith Infiltrator in my list with those 2. However, I did not use those 2. I used Jango Fett and Zam. Jango has Marksmanship, Savage Press, Proton Bombs, Delayed Fuses, the Slave 1 title, and Veteran Tail Gunner. And Zam has Marksmanship, Count Dooku, Proton Bombs, Contraband Cybernetics, and Delayed Fuses. Dirge is rocking up with Proton Cannons, the Xanadu Blood title, and Bo-Katan Cries, which is basically my default Dirge build at this point.
I like it. I really like your Bo-Katan on it. I know most people fly Proton Bombs and Marksmanship, I think, but the amount of times Bo-Katan's wrecked me on a range 0 shot.
Yeah, it's just your 2 dice at range 0 all of a sudden becomes like, actually, it's not even that inconsistent. But yeah, there we are. 3 ships, 2 fire sprays, lots of bombs, proton cannons, lots of crit generation. In fact, actually a lot of crit generation.
Yeah. So we're playing salvage mission today. And regular listeners are probably at this point going, do you guys play anything else except salvage? Because we seem to play it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Ironically, we roll the random dice we've got saved in TTS every time, and it just it likes salvage.
It's like salvage. Can't be helped.
Now we have quite an interesting setup on salvage.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, especially salvage, I'm likely to just ignore the objective game. Like, all 3 of my ships want to reposition if they can. 4 of my ships, sorry. Particularly Von Reg and Blackout, who can just do as many as he likes. But the Whispers certainly as well. So I didn't think objectives would play a huge part in the game. Certainly not in the early game.
I'm not exactly like out of that area as well. Like the fire sprays don't really want to be picking them up if they can avoid it.
Like my list wants to kill things, and that's why I think your list presents a particular challenge. Because I much prefer multiple smaller ships where it's easier for me to get the shots because of small targets. There's not as much health to punch through. You're not 10 health behind 2 greens, including force.
Yeah, and I guess like in the case of like if we start like trading damage, which I think these lists can do, because we're essentially both of our lists have a ton of offensive mods and some defensive mods, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what it comes down to. And if we just start trading shots, your ships will, in theory, if I can focus, die before my ships will die. I'll take a ton of damage, but I won't die.
Yeah, yeah. And then it works in your favour for the next engagement. Yeah, so objective-wise, we basically have 3 along the middle, as close as you can up towards the centre on each side. And then on the right-hand side, as I'm looking at it, basically 1 as close as you can to your board edge and my board edge and away on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And then rocks.
Yeah, so I had first player. So I deploy my first rock, which is Pride of Mandalore rock, which is the best rocks that everyone should use. and I'd basically deploy it in between the little triangle we made on your side of the board, just to basically make something to circle around, because I've got front and I know you've also got front and back arcs as you whispers, but I have front and back arcs. So if we're circling, I in theory should have a shot somewhere,
Yeah.
and it'll just make an annoyance. And then you started building your triangle of rocks in the center on my side, essentially.
I mean, if we skip to the end, it's you place one of your Pyromadalors 2 and 2 in my bottom left, up in your as I'm looking at it top right, your bottom left, and then I create a cluster from the center to slightly the left on your side. So what we've got is a diagonal line from my bottom left to my top right, just like arcing slightly above the center objective.
Yeah.
A rock range 1 of the 2 middle ones up off to the top left, and then one it's not quite 2 and 2 bottom right that you can circle around. That there's 2 objectives down there. So we overlap on both initiatives because we're all I5 and 6s,
which means priority matter.
Yeah, boy, does it matter in this game.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm first player, so I deploy Dirge on the far right, about as far forward as I can, literally like basically touching the board edge, and then I put Zam on the far left, as back as far as I can, and I give unto Sean the choice. Where dost thou wish to be?
Now I make an error. I was going to say a critical error. I'm not sure it's a critical error, but I make an error here. I line up Wrath opposite Dirge, because he wants Bullseye for proton cannons and Dead to Rights. I want Bullseye because it's my biggest gun. And I'm like, if he puts Django down, I can turn away, just Scarper. And I thought, I was remembering the trick I've been using with Boy Luke, of if you both set up at the front, if your opponent does a 3 straight, then you can do a 4 straight with Luke, attack speed, and get just in range 3.
Yeah.
So I set up, and I was like, well, so long as I do a 2 straight, I'm absolutely fine. But I forgot one vital important thing. You can 5 straight, not 4 straight.
Yes. Yes, I have a faster ship.
Yeah. So I think, and if I pause it on the range check, we'll have to have a look. I think if I'd set up at the back,
I think
2 straighted,
yeah.
I would have, because my intention was go slow turn 1, jump in turn 2.
Yeah.
If it's range 1, that's brilliant for me. If it's range 2, all right, I'm still taking the proton, but you're taking at least a range 2 bullseye.
Yeah.
And then I can just Scarper off behind. Yeah, that was the plan anyway.
Yeah. It's interesting because this caught Stuart out when I played him last Thursday, is because it turns out a 1 bank barrel roll backwards will still get caught if I 5 straight bank boost and 4 straight bank boost with the fire spray.
What, from the front?
Yeah.
A 4 straight boost on the fire spray will get that far.
A 4 straight and a banky boost managed to clip a BB-8 who did a 1 bank and then barrel rolled backwards.
Jeez. Well, there you
go.
The 5 straight.
Well, it's because it basically I got him because of the angle. Because obviously a banky boost is just a lot further with a medium base.
Yeah, sets up at the front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, set it at the front. This is the one I set at the back because I didn't know if you weren't just going to deploy like Von Reg and others opposite Dirge.
So
yeah.
So I then set up Blackout just to the left of centre. Cool, he can go into the gap in between the objectives, see where the fire sprays go, start, trying to get some obstructed for the early engage, but he's not really there for his ability. That's just kind of a bonus, I suppose. He wants to get in range 1, throw 4 dice with Predator while Kylo and Wrath are jamming people.
Yeah, makes sense.
And maybe I should have set everyone opposite Wrath, because we've completely skipped Zam.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't skip Zam. I said I deployed Zam on the very bottom left.
Oh, I missed that.
I said unto you, Sean, decide who you want to go for.
That tells you how much attention I was paying. Yeah, maybe I should have, because I think my entire list against just 1 fire spray and Dirge, Actually,
no, you have that.
yeah.
If you set up your entire list opposite Dirge, Django's probably not on that side of the board. I'd actually probably pick up objectives.
Yeah.
With the two fire sprays on that side, because I guess the one thing we should mention is Dirge is on the side that has one objective, and Sam is on the side that has four. And whilst we did say that objectives weren't really going to be a priority for either of our lists, if one of us just says, "Hey, you have all the objectives," whilst I'm on this other side, I think we'd probably would pick them up.
But yeah, that's quite interesting. Like, yeah. Yeah, do I set up opposite? I think maybe if I'd set up a little further left to threaten.
Yeah.
I set up Kylo to the right of the centre objective. Again, want him to just have options. Then you do Django.
Yep, and I deploy him basically slightly to the left of Dirge, deployed fully far back because whilst I do want to commit to trying to hit Wrath, I don't want to go too far, and I want to have the option to dip into the center if all your ships basically go after Zam, because I figure Zam can get away, and hopefully last long enough for Django to basically tag in, do basically play fire spray tag.
Yeah. I set up Von Reg to the right of the obstacles. It's inside of Zam. Because what I'm going to do is attempt to shoot fast, see where you go, do Von Reg's double reposition shenanigans if I need to, get in your side arc, plink a range one shot, bugger off.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I don't achieve that. And the reason I don't achieve that is because I don't set him up correctly. What I should have done was set him up almost opposite you, or literally opposite you. Because I'm thinking if you boost, I get in on the inside and go round. But you're as far left as you can go. You're only boosting straight or to the right.
Yeah.
So if I set up opposite you, if we end up close like I want to, either we bump range 0, fine, I'll trade range 0 shots. In theory, odds are that's in my favour because it's 3-on-2 for me and 3-on-3 for you.
Yep.
If you boost in, then you present that flank to me.
Yeah.
And if we end up like range 1,
you should be able to barrel roll boost and get into my side.
Well, barrel roll, even if I can't boost into your side, barrel roll boost away. And then I'm not taking a shot, but I've got a much easier position to disappear. And, alright, you can one hard boost, but, 3 bank, barrel roll, boost.
Yeah. And also, most importantly, I'm doing it before you move. So chances are I actually can't boost after you.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
You'll be there.
So, and we'll see that. Like, even if it's not opposite, just closer to where you are.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the game. So we roll off, and Sam is first player for this turn.
That's going to be a common theme for the first few turns.
Yes, it is. We check system phase. I remember I was supposed to put a cloak token on Blackout with sensor scramblers.
Yep. And I assign a Sam card. I do I believe that is a 4 straight, and I boost to the right. Just basically pointing the arc towards the center. Because I'm not 100. I wasn't convinced that Von Reg wasn't just doing a hard turn, so I was like, well, let's point the arc towards the center. I can bank left to get behind the big rock. I can bank into the center, and we'll see what happens.
See, this is exactly what I wanted turn 1.
Yeah. And Dirge has a 5 straight focus boost because, honestly, with a rogue, I'll take bullseye fights.
Yeah. The moment you turned around and went 5 straight, I was like, shit, forgot about that. So I've decided to go in on Zam because no, I didn't. There was a plan behind this. Let's just ignore me. I'm being an idiot. So what I've done is I've 3 banked Blackout to the right. Now, admittedly, I did this before I remembered I had to have a cloak token.
Right, yeah.
But what the plan is then I hard turn to the left, puts me not in front of a rock, so I'd have space on the next turn to get away for it, because he doesn't have the sensitive controls. But Django's got to be coming down there somewhere. Yeah. If I can start plinking some obstructed shots on Django, great. Because I have the cloak token, I barrel roll to the left, because I know that I'm then going to barrel roll to the right.
Decloak? Yeah.
For the decloak. I do a 5 straight with Kylo. And the reason I did a 5 straight was because I slightly misjudged or mis-eyeballed where he was. And I was thinking that I'll 5 straight, see where Zam and Django end up, and if needs be, 5 straight again up towards that top objective.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I slightly misplaced him, so that I think another 5 straight clips that debris field.
Looks like he goes straight into the debris field. Yeah,
so that's on me for not putting him in the right place. Like slightly further to the right is fine. So I opt to barrel roll away from Zam just to make sure I'm not in arc. I link it to a jam because
why
jams. Not? I 2 straight. Wrath. And hindsight here compounds my error, I suppose, in the sense that I could have boosted into a jam your focus off you.
Yeah.
At least then it's an unmodded proton cannon.
Yeah.
But because Django was at the back, I was like, if I stay here, there's a chance I only take that proton cannon. Or I can barrel roll out of it, which is what I opt to do in the end. And alright, it really nullifies my offense, but I'm not taking that 4 dice shot.
Yeah, but I think barreling out is fine once we remember, because we move your turret to the back because we remember that's where you wanted it to start.
Yeah,
and you basically barrel out and focus, right?
No, into jam.
Oh, into a jam. Yeah, whichever one. I think that's right, because yes, okay, sure, you could have boosted and jammed my proton, but do you really want to risk me rolling hot?
Well,
when you don't have to.
But then there's the but the flip side of that is I then have a range 2 bullseye. I've got predator and marksmanship.
Yeah, all of that is true. But I feel like Dirge, this is one of those things where I don't think the trade favors you that much. Especially if Django is also coming.
Well, I think that was the determining factor. Is I didn't want to go into Django, which is why I opted for the barrel. If it had been just Dirge, then I would have considered it.
Yeah, to me, if you just have a random blank out and I roll hot, rapid, all of a sudden, absolutely in pain.
I think realistically, I probably still barrel roll out. I think I made the correct decision. Yeah. It's just it would have been more thinking about it.
Yeah, it's you still have the ion cannon, so you still have a better shot.
Yeah,
than I do. So Django does a 4 straight. And then I have options. I up a boost straight, but I just don't think I'm going to get Wrath of anything meaningful. So I bank boost to the left, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get within range 3 of Blackout to force him to decloak in this end phase. Because I know you're probably decloaking in the system phase, but I would rather you decloak before I have to set dials, because you might not decloak.
Yeah.
And I believe I just focus.
No, because you boosted.
Oh, no, I boosted. I'm an idiot. I don't have linked actions. Silly boy.
So I do a 5 straight with Vonreg. I look for ages about whether I think the barrel roll to the right is going to get out of arc. I opt to take a strain to do it because I have a plan if it doesn't get out, or I'm hoping I have a plan if it doesn't get out of arc. I do the barrel roll. It does not get out of arc. If I'd set up further right, it would have been absolutely fine. So, yeah. And I boost to the right. Excuse me. I boost to the right, which puts me towards the board edge, but it's fine. Hard turn will keep me on it.
Yeah.
But it does mean I wasn't sure at the time if I was getting a shot. If I am, it's unmodded. If Zam has me, then I have an unmodded defense with a strain. And all those issues would have been solved by setting up properly. So, yeah. So we go to
We go to the shooting. And so Django shoots first, and I've got range 3 obstructed. It's either shooting a cloaked silencer or a jammed whisper, both obstructed, both range 3. So I just go for Kylo, because if I can get you to spend some force, sure, why not? So I roll hit, crit after marksmanship, I believe.
No. It was hit. You rolled crit, hit, eyeball. I believe you spent the force.
Force, and then marksmanship.
And marksmanship for 2 crits. I rolled 3 of 8s.
Yeah.
Vonreg does just clip Zam at range 2. He rolls 3 eyeballs.
I roll 1 of 8, and then I flip my Zam card. It's regain a charge and acquire a lock. Check Zam's arc has nothing. Dirge has range 3 into Wrath, so I take the shot. I roll hit blank.
I forget to add the dice because you've still got the focus, but you do have a jammed ship. Yep. So I roll 3, but I get an evade, so it's fine. Kylo has nothing. So it's just the ion cannon for Wrath. He does have both Django and Dirge. I opt to go into Django because maybe I ion Dirge. It's 3-on-3 and you have a focus. I have no mods. Yes, I only have to get 1 through. Or 2, damage and the ion. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure 1 bank left blue suits you quite nicely.
Yeah,
so.
I'm alright with 1 bank left.
Whereas Django, again, 99 times out of 100, I don't ion him. It's 3-on-3, unmodded on both. But you also, got a debris right in front of you. You can 1 bank to the right, I think, to clear it, but it's close and limits what you can do and where you can go. So I opt to just go
in. Even if you just get 1 ion on me, that's an ion that's going to stick around for the rest of the game, and all you have to do is get another shot to do it.
Yeah. So I go into Django. I roll nothing, so that's fine. Wasn't expecting to do much there. And then I have to decloak.
Yeah. And so you decloak where you are probably going to decloak anyway, but like I said at the time, at least I see this before I set dials. Because for all I knew, Blackout might have joined the murder Zam train.
It does make me change my plan. Because as I said, I was going to hard turn in, and I do not opt to do that. Ironically, I think I should have hard turned in, but hey ho. So we go to turn 2, and Sam is first player again.
Yeah.
Spoilers, this goes 12 turns.
Yeah, let's go the full 12 turns and time.
Yes. I mean, admittedly, we started turn 12 with 29 seconds.
Yeah.
But
and that's an interesting point of discussion because I guess actually when we're at a tournament we wouldn't know that there's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what they normally rule. Is it just dice down, that's it? Or do you play out
you finish your round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm first player. I assign a Zam card. I don't drop any bombs. Dirge does a 1 bank to the left and focuses.
Yeah. I thought you might have dropped a bomb with Zam here.
So I just thought that there's no way because so here's what I thought with Zam at the time, and we'll get to when Zam moves in a second. I looked at that and I was like, is there any way I can block you off the board? And I didn't think that was possible.
No.
I could have dropped a bomb, but I wasn't even sure it would be legal bomb placement. And then if you just one-hearted, you just barrel roll and you're fine.
Yeah, see, I thought, maybe, I suppose.
That was my thinking of why I didn't drop a bomb. Dirge 1 banks and focuses. Zam does a 3 bank to the left, and then I boost to the right, trying to loop around that top rock. And hopefully leave Vonreg in the dust.
Wrath does a 4K and bumps into Dirge. I would have bet my grandmother's life that I dialed in a 5K for that. I could have sworn I dialed in a 5K. I mean, obviously I didn't because it's not It's not a real life dial that do occasionally switch, but I'll sit there going, yeah, 5k, that's fine. I got loads of distance. If I'm first player, I end up alongside you.
Yeah.
And, damn it, I wish I'd paid more. Do the idiot checks. But hey,
Yeah.
because the 5k would have cleared.
That is true.
And actually would have, I think, made a hell of an impact, an earlier impact in the game.
Yeah, it would have been interesting because I don't know what I would have done. So, well, I know what I would have done. Django would have done something different. I know that much. And Dirge would have just accepted life.
So yeah, I take stress. Kylo 3 halves to the right because I wasn't expecting Zam to disappear. I spend a moment looking. I want to one bank to the right, but there's a rock in the way. But also that rock's got a divot in it that I think I can squeeze the ship into. But what I'm checking, because I don't know where Django. I thought Django might be coming through the gap into the center, like a hard turn left and then a boost. So we were just checking that if you do a boost and it fails, you've still completed the action, which would then allow me to link it into a jam.
Yeah, I believe that's how that works.
Yeah, which at least then I get the extra dice because there'll be a jammed ship in the arc. So I do the boost to the right. It does fit exactly in the gap I thought it would, which is nice. I do link it to a jam. I jam Zam.
Which breaks the lock on Vonreg.
Which breaks the lock on Vonreg. Might as well. I think I've got enough distance away from Django. Yeah. I do a 2 bank with Blackout because, again, I wasn't expecting Zam to be where she was. I thought she'd come into the centre. So I opt to take a focus. I boost to the left with auto thrusters, and then I barrel roll to the left with auto thrusters. Because I've got prime thrusters, I can do it as long as I've got 2 or less stress. I wonder if that barrel roll was a mistake. Because if I
possibly,
if I hadn't a barrel roll,
double stress is risky.
Yeah, if I hadn't a barrel roll, there's a chance I miss a shot, which is not ideal, but I think okay. But without that barrel roll, a 2 bank nicely takes me into the gap round behind.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure where Django was going, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to 1-on-1 with Django.
Yeah, because if Django comes towards Blackout, I think Django, in theory, should outtrade that, but it'd be close. Like, you'd probably hurt him a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like we said at the start, you have a lot less health to do that sort of trading.
Yeah, but also
like
the double stress means I know I'm tying myself down for the next 2 turns to only repositions.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Django 1 halves to the right. Because luckily for me, Raph bumped. Although admittedly, I just didn't think Raph was doing a fast K-turn. I figured Raph would try and get into the centre. And I figured this way I might be able to line up a front shot onto Raph and maybe a back shot onto Kylo or Blackout if you came around behind me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And here I am. I think I look at this a lot, and I think I just end up focusing.
You do.
Because I wasn't 100% sure how things were going to go.
And then Vonreg does a 1 hard. I take a focus, and then I remember it's Vonreg, so I take a deplete to acquire a lock onto Zam, and then take a focus.
So Django, range 1 into Wrath. I roll hit, blank, blank, focus. I spend my force for hit, and then I forget to trigger my pilot ability, my ship ability, title for hit crit, but it doesn't matter.
I roll 2 evades.
Dirge, range 0s. I roll focus hit, and then I Bo-Katan the focus into a hit.
I roll focus evade, so take 1 shield.
Zam, range 3s out the back into Vonreg. I get crit, blank, focus. So I spend the force for hit crit, because it's one of those, if you blank out and I get a lucky plink, that's a lucky plink that I am going to need, I think.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I was feeling okay. Focus 4 dice. I should get 2 pain. I rolled 2 evades, 2 blanks, so got my 2 pain. Kylo only has a range 1 obstructed out with the turret. Rolls 3 hits. And stupidly, I opt to spend. I think, I've got full force. I'll spend a force for Malice, forgetting that the fire spray's got 4 shields. So but it's all good.
And I roll 2 evades, so I take a shield. I flip my Zam card. It's the bonus attack if you're in my firing arc. Silly me, basically. I thought that there'd lead either be chasing me or be in front of me, not that in my side this round. So I cannot do anything with that Zam card.
Wrath unfortunately has no shot because no one's in his bullseye. The turret's out the back, and I can't ion cannon at range 0. So
yeah,
and then
but Blackout has a shot.
Blackout has a shot. I believe range 2 unobstructed into Django. I roll hit crit.
I roll evade focus, spend my force for 2 evades, and take a crit on the shields.
And there she blows.
She blows. Our hyper offensive lists are just plinking.
The issue I have now is I've got Blackout with 2 stress.
Double stress in the center.
He's got a debris in front of him. I can 2 hard to the right. It's fine. I'm not going to do it. But like, I just expect Zam to hard turn in and shoot him.
Yeah.
And there's not really that actually is something I could do about it in hindsight. The issue I have is it depends on priority. And you are first player for turn 3.
Yep. I say no system phase because I've forgotten how Zam works. And Sean lets me track that back because I remember before any Zam actually goes.
I do not let you track that back. I
do it anyway.
I know. I sat there. I was all surprised. I was like, no, screw it. He's played Zam enough to know how Zam works. That's fine. And then you're like, oh, it's a must. I'm like, fine.
Well, actually, it's funnily enough, the must is withdrawing the Zam card, not assigning the Zam card.
Fair enough. That's the last time I let you get away with that.
The narrative we'll go with is Sean lets me track that back and I assign a Zam card.
Sure, yeah. We'll do that.
Because, in the spoilers, in the end result, the Zam card doesn't even matter.
No, I know.
Anyway, Dirge is a 2 straight over the top of Wrath, and I focus into a boost into the center because if Blackout goes left, it might be an arc. And then Zam does I believe that is a 2 hard to the right, looking at Blackout, and I don't like any of my options, so I focus. Because I want to boost, but Blackout's there. I don't want to boost to the right because no one's there, so I just take a focus under the assumption that Kylo is about to steal it from me.
So Wrath does a 5 straight because I'm desperately trying to get out of dodge. I boost into a jam. I 2 hard with Blackout. And I'm like thinking to myself, oh, I can 2 hard the next turn. What I should have done was barrel roll to the left.
Yeah. Because you don't do anything.
Because I can still barrel roll. It wouldn't stress me again. Maybe it's still range 3, fine, but it gives me an out that puts a debris between you and me, and that's good for me.
And also, I can't remember, you might even be in Dirge's arc at this point.
Do you know, I think I might be. So yeah, I should have barrel rolled to the left there. But hey. Kylo does a 5k, because I had to judge the possibility that I was going to be first player. But boy, I love pattern analyzer whispers. They're so much fun. I boost to the left. I link it to a jam. I jam the focus away.
Yeah.
And
Django does a 1 hard to the right, and then I boost to the right, just chasing down Wrath.
And Kylo does a
Vonreg.
That's what I meant. Vonreg does a something 2 bank, I think. Because again, I just had to. I didn't want to overcommit with him and end up getting smashed. And I opt to barrel roll for a strain because I'll see if it gets arc on Zam. It doesn't, and I take a focus. And what I actually should have done was just boosted. It would have got arc. It would have got arc. I wouldn't have been getting shot. Okay, I wouldn't have had the focus. I was just trying to be greedy and get a mod as well.
Yeah.
But
so Django shoots first, and I shoot range 2 into Wrath. I get hit crit spent and a mark slave 1 for hit crit.
I roll 1 evade, so I take the last shield and a crit. It is a damaged sensor array.
Dirge has a range 3 obstructed shot into Blackout. And I roll hit crit, and you roll millions of evades.
Many evades.
And
So,
then...
looking at that, I think the barrel roll would still be range 3.
Yes.
I say would be range 3. It is, in fact, range 2. So, but you opt to go into Kylo anyway.
I opted into Kylo because I was actually surprised that I had a shot into Kylo. So I take range 1 into Kylo because he's just got the Force. And again, if I can get him to spend the Force, his offense is a lot less. I roll hit, focus, crit, blank. I spend the Force for hit, crit.
I roll 1 evade and 2 blanks, so that is the 2 shields gone. I then have a range 1 bullseye into you. I predator the... I roll crit, hit, blank, focus. I predator the blank into another focus. I dump both force, 1 normal, 1 malice, for 2 hits, 2 crits.
I roll blank, blank. So that is the shields gone, and I believe a panicked pilot on Zam.
Yes.
I trigger Zam. It's recover a charge and acquire a lock because I didn't think I'd have it. I didn't think I would have a shot into anyone shooting me.
That's fair. Wrath has a shot out the back with his turret into Django. He rolls 1 hit.
I roll 1 evade.
And that is it. 3 turns down, no one's picking up the boxes.
Yeah, and no one's scored any points just yet. But Wrath is bleeding, and I would say Zam is bleeding at this point, considering where she is.
Yeah. I mean, Kylo's, shields are gone, it's only 3 hull.
Yeah.
So we roll off for turn 4, and I'm first player this turn.
Yeah. So, I remember to do it properly. I retrieve my Zam card and assign a new one, and Zam drops a proton bomb.
So, I had 2 options with Kylo. I could have 5-straighted, clear the stress, gets me away from the proton bomb. But then I thought Zam just turns and shoots him out the bum. So what I did was I 3-banked over Zam, just missing the rock. Because I was expecting a slow bank to the right here to try and, well, quite frankly, get either the silencer Von Rake coming in.
Yeah.
But I opt to barrel roll to the left because I'm conscious of where the silencer is going. And amusingly, I think this is what costs me Kylo. Because what that does is it puts me in the bullseye of Dirge. And spoilers, allows Zam through. I think staying where I was would have blocked her.
Yeah, you would have done.
Which means
when you moved there, I was like, oh, hell no.
Which takes your proton bomb. I link it to a jam, so at least I'm jammed. No, do I jam?
You jammed the lock off.
I jammed the lock off Zam, that's right.
Yeah, because Zam had acquired a lock onto Kylo, which is now gone.
I 3-bank with Wrath because I'm just trying to get some distance from Django, and I focus because it's all I can do. I did consider repairing it, but I kind of felt I needed the mods for defense at that point. And I do a 2 hard with Blackout to clear the last stress, which I get back immediately because I focus auto thrust it into a barrel roll. I am and are about the boost, and amusingly, if I boosted, that would have blocked.
Yep.
Although to be fair, and you still would have gone into Kylo actually. So
I would have gone into Kylo, so we'd have been trading range 1 shots. I'd have eaten a crit.
See, I would have been okay with that. But that's the nice power of hindsight.
Yeah, but like I said, you didn't think I was
doing not in the slightest.
So
not in the slightest.
So Dirge does a 2 straight, and then I focus because Kylo's in my bullseye. Zam flips contraband and does a 2 hard to the right, which basically slides past Kylo, slides just in front of Blackout, and then I opt to boost to the left just to try and get out of Blackout's arc. Boost straight to get out of Blackout's arc and try and block Von Rake.
You do block Von Rake, it does a 1-bank. I opt to take the red focus.
And Django does probably my stupidest move of the game, because I thought about chasing after... Basically, I wanted to chase after Wrath, But I basically mind controlled myself into not doing a 3-bank after you because I thought, oh, if Raph does a 1 hard, I'll bump and it'll be a disaster. When actually, that wouldn't have been a disaster, that would have been fine, to be honest, because I'd still be shooting you. So what I do is I 2 hard because I was like, oh, I reckon I can, like, if Raph has gone slow, then that's fine. I can just boost towards the center. And Raph has gone fast, that's fine. I can boost towards Raph. But what I actually can do is nothing because there's a rock in the way and I can't boost past it either way. I do try, and I try to boost to the right in towards the center, but it does hit the rock, thereby telling me where a 1 bank next turn will land me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's silly. I should have just 1 bank boost after Raph, or just 3 bank and just say, "All right, Raph, we saying hi." But the bomb goes off and hits no one, and so we go to Von Reg's shot.
Yeah, I am an R whether to shoot Zam at range 0 because I know it'll trigger her ability. She can bonus attack me back. But I'm thinking, all right, it's 3 on again. It's 3 on 2. You only have the force. It's 3 on 3 for my return, and I've got a focus for defense. In theory, I shouldn't come out any worse.
Yeah.
All right, yes, you can do it. You can attack again, but Zam is bleeding. I need to start plinking stuff off. So
yeah.
I do opt to shoot. I roll nothing. Literally 2 blanks, 1 focus.
Yeah. So I flip my card. It's the return fire shot, and I roll hit crit because woo!
I roll 1 evade and 2 blanks. Yay! 2 shields down.
Django has no shot because I'm an idiot.
Nothing from the silencer. Kind of has a range 1 turret into Dirge, so I shoot that. I roll 3 hits.
And I roll a single evade, so shields down on Dirge.
And Wrath has nothing.
So I go to Dirge, and I have range 2 into Blackout and range 1 into Kylo. But in the bullseye only, I have range 2, so I fire the proton cannons into Kylo. I roll hit focus blank blank, and I proton cannon the focus to a crit.
I roll 1 evade. The crit is a panicked pilot.
That's very good for me. So then I opt for a range 2 shot into Kylo with Zam's actual shot, and I put a damage through.
Yes, so Kylo's on 1 with 2 stress. And all right, well, if I hadn't barrel rolled, I don't take the proton cannon, and I probably have a focus. Whether that would have probably wouldn't have made a difference because I would have spent my force, but who knows?
Yeah.
So, in fact,
I think this is one of those who knows because like. If Dirge can barrel roll to the right, maybe the proton cannon still lines up.
You can't.
Or left, even left.
You can't barrel roll left there.
Maybe forwards. Who knows? We'll never know.
But yeah, but also Zam would have done a range 0 shot. So
well, I'd have done a range 1 into Blackout at that point.
Well, yeah, all right, fine. Then Kylo's not getting shot, which is kind of So yeah, that was kind of costly.
Like literally at that point, I just throw 8 dice at Blackout because Blackout probably takes the shot.
Maybe.
Well, exactly. It's one of those things. We'll never find out because we'll never know what you would have decided at the time.
I probably would have because Von Reg's 1 bank would have lined up a range 1 shot, which he would have had lock focus on. So, yeah, at least I would have known in advance what.
Yeah. And again, no points. Zam lucked out, but now Kylo's on the ropes.
So we must get really fast because there is 38 minutes left and we're only just starting turn 5. Yeah. But anyway, I am first player for this turn.
So, into the system phase, I assign a Zam card and I drop Zam's second bomb because there's 3 First Order ships in the vicinity and someone's probably around. Yes.
And then I 2 hard Blackout, which I thought might bump Zam. Turns out it doesn't bump Zam, but it does land on a rock by... It's not even pixels. A pixel?
Like I literally, like I said in the game, like that's the sort of you place it down and the rock would like ping up like you flicked it. Or slip and you wouldn't notice.
So, unsurprisingly, I roll a hit so that he loses both shields right before he takes the proton bomb because that's sod's law. I 3 bank with Wrath to try and put the bullseye roughly where Zam might be. I take a focus because I must. Kylo 3 banks because I was trying to get away from everything, the bomb. clear one of the stress, and I couldn't go fast straight.
Yep. Zam does a 3 straight, clears one of the stress. Dirge does a 3 bank to the right, because I wasn't sure where your first order fleet was going, so I just wanted to get out. And I pick up a crate, because I'm very conscious of the fact that Zam is probably dying in a couple of turns. And I reckon Kylo's probably dying in Eternity, because I know where Django's going. But that's still me down a few points, so I need to pick up a crate with Dirge. He's fired his proton cannon. He can afford to spend at least 2 turns not doing a whole lot. And so he picks up the bottom left crate and just sits there.
Von Reg does a 1 hard, which puts me in a really irritating position. I'm behind Zam. But,
no, that's right. Zam did a 2 straight. That's why you can't quite fit that barrel in behind me.
Which is awkward. What I do is I opt to just boost to the right. But what I should have done was boosted straight and gone behind the asteroid the next turn.
Yeah.
Because Zam has to go that way. So, yeah. I kind of pegged myself in now.
So Django does a 3 bank to the right, going straight through that rock. I take 1 damage, and I roll for damage, and I roll a blank.
I was not expecting that. I expected a 1 hard up towards your board edge and then a boost around.
That's what I thought I was going to do. And then I was like, actually, that's what I think. That's what I want to do straight off. So I think that's what you're expecting. So let's get into the center and join this party.
You know what's really amusing? Is if Kylo had only been single stressed, not double stressed, I would have boosted to the left, which means Django would have been on the rock.
Yep.
Dang, double stress.
But hey, that's Panic Pilot for you.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And I take a target lock onto Kylo.
At which point I'm like, yeah, Kylo's dead. Blackout takes a damage sensor array from the proton bomb.
And then Django shoots range 1 into Kylo. I roll hit, crit, blank. I target lock the blank into a focus and spend the force.
Not a damage sensor array, ignore me, a disabled power regulator. Yeah, so Kylo's dead anyway.
And then marksmanship for a crit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's got 4 results. I get 2 evades and a focus. Spend the force, doesn't matter, still die. I fire the ion cannon, range 3 into Zam from Wrath. I end up with 3 results.
I'm spending the focus. I roll 1 evade, so I take a damage and an ion. I have a range 2 shot out the back into Blackout. I take it, and I roll 1 hit, 2 blanks.
I roll an evade.
And then that's it. Blackout takes an ion.
Yes.
And I get 5 points for Kylo and 1 point for the objective, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Which I have not ticked up on that point thing yet, for whatever reason. Oh, no, I have. I can't. Yeah. It's just blurry for me, sorry.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it's there. It's 6 points. So I have the... Right, well, I know what the Blackout's doing, but I also know Django's just going to sweep in and punish. So how do I punish that, I suppose? And I'm not entirely sure I can, is the problem.
Yeah. So Zam, I thought very long and hard about what Zam's going to do, because I wanted really badly to 1 hard to the right with the aim of 1 harding again, and then I just blew straight forever and ever. But I was very conscious of the fact that if Wrath just moves forward and ions me, I'm dead. So I 1 bank to the left, clear either, I think, the last stress, and then I think I boost to the left again?
Yes.
Yeah, boost to the left. Dirge does that looks like a 1 hard to the right, and I focus, because maybe Blackout does a 1 bank to the left, who knows?
Blackout does do a 1 bank to the left, because I just wanted to point the arc at where Zam was going to be, and I focus. Wrath does a 2 straight, because although I can't necessarily punish Django this turn, it sets him up nicely for the next turn. I can repair my damage sensor arrays, so I can start jamming and boosting and barrel rolling and so on and so forth.
So Django 1 banks to the left. I'm in the dead center, staring at Blackout, and I believe I target lock Blackout.
Yes,
I want to say, yeah, target lock Blackout.
Von Reg does a 1 bank to the right because it's the least turny blue maneuver that doesn't clip that rock. But it puts me again, not facing Zam. I look at the barrel roll for a while. I opt to try and play safe, so I take a deplete to barrel roll out, and then I take a focus. What I actually think I probably should have done there was just two slooped with him.
Yeah.
Because at least they're one facing the right direction.
So Django shoots first, and I'll take the range 2 shot into Blackout. I roll hit blank blank. I target lock into 2 more hits, and then I get 2 crits off marksmanship and slave 1. So hit crit crit.
I roll 2 evades, so I take 1 crit. The crit is a weapons failure.
Then Vonreg has no shot, so we go to Dirge. Range 3 obstructed into Blackout. I roll hit focus, spend my focus for 2.
I roll 2 evades.
And then Zam has a range 2 shot into Vonreg. So I roll crit focus, and I elect not to spend the force, I believe, because Blackout has a shot.
I roll 2 blanks and a focus, so I spend my focus. Wrath has no shot, and it's just a range, I think, 3 unobstructed. I roll 2 hits.
I roll. Wait, I roll evade focus. Oh wait, no, I must have spent the force then. I thought I didn't spend the force, but I must have spent the force.
Oh, fair.
I could have sworn I remembered. I'm
sure you said didn't spend the force.
I thought I said didn't, but I flipped it and I didn't spend it to prevent the damage.
Fair.
In fact, yeah, you're right. I didn't spend the force because you were only rolled 1 paint.
Yeah.
I just must have not flipped it from the previous turn, and so I thought I'd spent it at some point.
Fair.
Silly boy.
And then you score a point.
Woo! Go Dodge. Yeah, there we go. Remember to flip your force back, people, because then you do silly things like taking damage when you don't have to.
So we roll off for turn 7, and I'm first player. So no system phase. I do a 3 sloop with Wrath. I pattern analyzer a focus. I link it to a jam. I have a look who's in range. Oh no, I don't link it to a jam. I think about linking it to a jam. And then I'm worried that Django and Dirge are just out of range 1, so I opt not to because I don't want to jam myself. Yeah. That would just be silly. Blackout does a 2 bank to the left because I'm trying to get away from Django and kind of point my arc where Zam will be. I focus and then auto thrusters into a boost. And then I get greedy again and try and barrel roll in front of the rock, but nothing fits. So I've double stressed myself needlessly
there. Zam would have been perfectly happy for you to have landed that barrel roll, as I'm doing a 3 bank to the left. And then I try to boost to the left just to try and get out of Blackout's arc. But the moment I land it, I can see that I have in fact failed. And Dirge does a 2 straight and focuses.
Vonreg does a 1 hard, clears his deplete, and I boost.
And then Django tries to 3 straight, because I was hoping that Wrath wouldn't be there. I thought Wrath might turn in hard to try and block my slow maneuver. And so I was trying to jump over your ships that would have moved, and I'd boost after Vonreg and hopefully have a shot into Vonreg and a shot into Wrath out the back. Alas, no. But I do take the red focus to deny you an extra dice, which, in hindsight, is stupid.
Yeah.
No, it's stupid. There's no reason not to. This shot isn't going to be, decisive unless I luck out. And I would need you to not luck out, so 3-on-3 may as well be the same thing. And I don't want to be stressed next round.
Yeah. So the reason Wrath is there is because, as I said, I wasn't expecting Zam to be so far over. So what I wanted to do was put the bullseye where I thought a boost would leave you if you'd gone slower.
Yeah.
Because he's stressed, he can bullseye, then he can bonus primary out the back into. I was hoping.
Dirge probably Dirge, right?
Yeah, was the hope. So
yeah. I take the red focus. In hindsight, I think it's stupid. I should have just accepted that. Oh well, not stressed. Probably not getting shot. I can do silly things next round.
Yeah. Vonreg fires a Magpulse into Zam. I roll 1 hit, 2 blanks. I spend the lock for 3 hits.
So it's going through. I roll 2 evades. I take a crit. I believe it is fuel leak.
I believe it's fuel leak.
I take a jam and a deplete. I believe the jam breaks one of Zam's locks from somewhere.
So your Zam trigger is the acquire a lock, so it breaks straight away, basically.
Yeah.
But you gain the charge back.
Django has a range 0 shot into Wrath. I roll crit blank blank.
I roll 1 evade. Wrath does not have the bullseye. I opt to, I believe, Ion Cannon into Zam, because I want to just try and sneak that 1 more ion through. I roll hit focus blank. I spend the focus for 2.
I roll blank blank focus, and I spend my force for 1 because my plan here is like, assuming I survive blackout, I don't want to be ioned. So I basically played because I was like nothing. I was going to be taking 1 damage from the iron anyway, so I was gonna be like, okay, let's just I'm probably dying to blackout, but if I do survive blackout, I don't want to be ioned. So I spend a force to prevent the second ion, and just take a damage. So I am on 1 health left. Although if I was a sensible boy, I'd be on 2 health.
I mean, yes and no, because if you're taking the ion, then Vonreg can just sweep in and you're very limited where you can go. Yes, you can get the bonus attack, but it means you're only you're only getting one attack.
That's why I'm saying I think spending the force is great. I'm referring to the fact that had I remembered that I had the force for that last shot last round.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought you were referring to what happens next, but
no, I'm not referring to what happens next. What happens next? I expected to happen, and I was just hoping you blanked.
Fair. The silencer goes range 2 into Zam. I roll hit focus.
No, is it not range 1 weapons failure?
Oh, it is. It's range 1 weapons failure. Sorry, you're right. I roll hit focus blank. I spend the focus for 2.
I roll evade focus and laugh slightly at the fact that had I not spent the force, I would live. But this is almost all meaningless because, yeah, had I been sensible and remembered what I stuff, I would be alive on 1 right now.
So I score 8
with a fire spray. That's very, very powerful.
I score 8. You score 1. It's 8-8.
Yeah. So this is the thing I was afraid of when I made Dirge pick up the box. Was I thought Zam was going to die, and trading Zam for just Kylo isn't enough. But so I had to pick up the box. But Blackout and Wrath are very much in killing distance.
See, whereas what I thought you do here now is you just get Django to pick up a box. You keep them out the fight. There's 20 minutes left. Because of where I am, I'm not in a position to pick up more than 1 box this turn, and it's realistically probably going to take me another 2 turns after that to get someone to a box.
I guess.
At which point you've probably ticked up enough from having that extra.
Yeah, to win. So I think this is where I defeated myself because I was like, because I did think about it, I could just turn Dodge away and Django can go pick up that box. But then I thought like it was sort of like I thought like you would move like you knew that was my plan, and I was like, yeah, but Wrath can just turn in and get the center one, Vonreg can get that center one, and then we're still tied, and then Blackout can go get another.
Wrath can't turn in and get the center one because you're in the way.
I thought too hard maybe. Or something like I don't know what the blues are on that thing.
It's white. They have no blue hard turns.
Fair enough. But like that's what my mind was going through because my mind was like, I know what I want to do, and then I was like, I imagined your move as if you knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so the counter to me would be like, you can probably, I reckon maybe a 2 bank from Wrath might grab that center one, and so I was like, well then I can't do that. I have to commit. Yeah. Because I can't afford for us to be tying because you just have more ships than me.
So we roll off for turn 8, and boy, we get the last 5 turns in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of move action, like 2 shots, action, 2 shots.
You are first player for turn 8.
I don't drop any bombs. Dirge does I believe that is a
1 hard.
1 hard and focuses.
I do a 2 hard with Blackout to clear one of the stress, and he just sits there. I do a 2 bank with Wrath because I thought you were coming down towards that centre one. I barrel roll, link it into a jam, and I jam Django.
Django does a 1 hard to the left. Still stressed. So this is where I'm like, I just shouldn't have bothered with the focus. Like, it just there are so many options.
Yeah.
If I'm unstressed that round.
Yeah. Vonreg does a 3 hard, which sticks him right in front of Django. Like, I don't really want to take that, if I'm honest. So I take a deplete to do a barrel roll to the right, and then I believe I boost away, trying to get out of arc. Which I do.
So Django has shot range 2 into Blackout unobstructed. I roll, I believe it is focus hit. I spend the, or is it? Yeah, focus hit because I've still got the force, and then 2 crits from Slave 1 and Marksmanship.
Why don't you spend the focus on the force on the last?
Why don't I spend the force? I don't know. Or
Are
maybe
you sure?
I have and I haven't flipped
I
it
say,
yet.
are you sure you haven't and you haven't flipped it yet?
It's entirely possible I have. I spend it and I haven't flipped it yet.
Yeah.
Either way, I end up with 2 crits.
I roll 2 of 8.
Yeah. Look, oh yeah, I flipped it over there a second ago. Dirge has no shot.
So it's just Wrath. I opt to go range 1, I believe, into Django. No, I go into Dirge trying to get him to drop the crate. I roll hit focus blank. I
don't have focus.
Yeah.
And I roll 2 of 8. And I get a point. 9-8. Yeah, and now the consequences of my action 2 turns are coming to bite me, as Django is basically limited to a 1 bank to the left. There aren't really any other options for him.
So I'm first player for turn 9. Wrath does a 1 hard to the right and picks up a crate because I need to start at least trying to get parity. Blackout does a 2 hard, clears his last stress, takes a focus, gets 1 stress to do a boost. And I do wonder whether I should have bank boosted there. I think it would have slid round the rock.
Yeah, I reckon you just slid around the rock.
I didn't want to risk it failing, but in hindsight, I don't think that would have actually cost me much. So
yeah, but that's before you knew where I was going, right?
No, but I should have taken into the account you were trying to diss it. Like, there is nowhere that you could go that a 1 bank wouldn't get that the 1 straight does, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah.
So Dirge, I believe, that is a 1 bank to the left, and I focus. And I'm just moving into the center, trying to catch Vonreg.
Vonreg does I think it's a 1 hard. I opt to take a strain to acquire a lock onto Dirge, and then a focus, because I want to fire that mag pulse, try and get the crit through, make you drop the box.
I 1 bank to the left, clear the stress, and I eye up whether I think a boost will get me a shot onto Vonreg, because you're strained. But instead I opt to take a target lock onto Wrath, because you've just picked up a crate, and so I'm just like, let's just try and get the best shot possible, rather than 2 less good shots. Because if I boosted, I think I'd probably get Vonreg and maybe range 3 into Blackout. But I think a better shot into Wrath is the better play.
Vonreg rolls his mag pulse. He rolls hit focus blank. He spends the lock on the blank and rolls it into a blank. Spends the focus for 2 hits.
Dirge rolls evade focus, spends the focus for 2 evades. Django fires range 2 out the back into Wrath. I roll crit blank, and I target lock the blank into a crit.
I roll 3 evades.
Yay.
And then I believe it's just...
Blackout.
No, Blackout must have range 3 onto Dirge. I roll hit crit.
I roll 2 evades, so I take a crit onto Dirge and drop my box.
So what do you know? It turns out that those wet fish dice at the start have gone hot.
For everyone, pretty much. And then Dirge has a range 2 shot into Vonreg. And I roll hit crit.
And I roll 2 evades.
Yep. So hilariously, only one damage was done this round, and it was a crit, which was the most important damage because I've dropped my box, and now we are tied at 9-9.
Yeah. So I make a mistake here. If I make I make the mistake that ultimately I think costs me the game, and it's what I do with Vonreg.
I've forgotten what Von Reg did.
So I know I can't get my original plan of him coming in there was to try and get the crate that's in front of him.
Yeah.
But now Dirge has dropped his crate. That's not going to happen because I know that Dirge is going to move and pick up that crate. Like, Dirge can afford to do that because if I kill Dirge, he just comes back. Do you drop the crate if I kill you?
No, because it's a replacement effect.
I thought that might be the case. So I'm still
unless you crit me to kill me.
Yeah. Sense. But I'm still relying on those crits. But yeah, I make the wrong decision. I'll wait until we get to it, and I'll tell you what I think I should have done here in hindsight.
So we get to turn 10. I am first player, and Django drops a proton bomb because it was one of those things where like if you decide to chase after Dirge with Blackout, at least you have to move, right?
Yeah.
Possibly unoptimally, maybe not, but you never know. He also might have decided to go after Django, and I just wanted to block off that avenue.
Yeah.
And then Dirge does I believe that is a 3 bank, and I pick up the crate in the center.
Wrath does a 3 hard and just takes focus. Blackout does a 3 straight and picks up the crate.
Django does a 1 hard to the left.
No, I was not expecting this.
And I pick up the crate behind me. Gambling. Basically, at the time I was like, I might be at range 1 of my own bomb here, but I'm going to pick up the crate just in case I'm not. And when I measure range 1 to grab the crate, it turns out I'm not in range 1 of the bomb. So I pick up the crate, and I'm now behind Vonreg, hopefully.
Yeah. So Vonreg does I think that's a 2 hard to the right.
Yeah, 2 hard to the right.
Now, what I should have done is 5 straighted. Because you only have 2 ships left, right?
Yes.
Who both have crates. I have 2 ships with crates. We're drawing on points. There's 7 minutes left. I'm not sure you can get all your ships from where they are back round to where my ships are in that time. And if that happens, we draw. Now, we play these games because we play X-Wing competitively. In a tournament, a draw is better than a loss.
Yes, that's true.
I should have played for the draw.
Yeah, because basically, if you 5 straight Vonreg, and I want to try and win, my only way to win is basically to throw Django at you solo.
And you've got to go through a debris.
Yes.
Which means you're not having an action. I'm in a position where my other ships can turn towards that.
Yeah.
And you have to do. I mean, I think realistically, a 3 bank to the left is the only maneuver.
It'd be 3 banks to the left.
It's the only maneuver that doesn't leave you on the debris. And all right, maybe you do, but
maybe I do, and I dice you, but like I'm taking a massive risk.
Yeah.
Let's say dice a dice. Let's say Django plinks the 2 off Wrath. That's probably the most realistic one, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
But I'm still taking a risk, and if you just put a crit into me, I drop my crate, and you might just kill Django.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the run away and just try and keep my ships out of, because even if you do that 3 bank, you're then stressed. There's another rock down in that corner for you to deal with. Yeah, I think that would have been the better call, personally. But that's the beauty of hindsight. Yeah. But I do hard. I take a deplete to acquire a lock because I'm not shooting. It's effectively free. I boost straight to try and get some distance. I thought it might get out of Dirge's arc.
The bomb goes off and hits no one. Django has a range 3 shot into Vonreg. And I roll blank crit focus, so I spend the force for hit crit. Slave 1 gives me crit.
I roll 2 evades.
And Dirge has no shot.
And that's it. So 11-11.
Yeah. And then we have interesting choices to make.
I made the wrong choice, and I was so close to making the right choice.
Yeah, and I make the wrong choice that pays off, but like I make an easily fixable wrong choice that I should
Yeah,
have just gone with the safe option.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So I'm first player for turn 11. Um,
it's turn 11, 11, 11.
I 5 straight Wrath, just skirting around the bottom edge, because I figure you're chasing after Von Reg. Blackout does a 1 hard because I want to. If you're going to chase after Von Reg, I'm going to come up behind you.
Yep. Dirge has a 1 hard to the left and focuses, and I should have 1 bank to the left because basically what the 1 hard does is it gambles on Von Reg going left, and I don't actually have an option if Von Reg goes right.
Yeah. Now,
And I 1 bank Dirge. At least you'd have had to boost away if you'd gone
Yeah.
right, and I'd have had a chance. Like,
now, interestingly, I thought you did that to cover the left, and then I thought you 1 hard Django to the right, which covers the right.
yeah, the reason I didn't do that is because I thought because I couldn't boost, I thought there'd be just too big of a gap in between the 2 of those arcs,
Maybe.
and so I just decided to double down.
Maybe.
Because I knew Von Reg could just 1 hard and then he's safe, right?
Yeah. But like by doubling down, yeah. Say if I 1 hard
Yeah.
and boost, then I'm away free. But I don't.
And I take an evade,
I sloop.
an important evade.
Yes. Yes. Very important evade. Remember that, people. I sloop, and this is definitely a mistake.
Yeah. So Django does a 2 straight over the rock. I take a stress.
Debris.
And I don't roll a crit. Sorry, the debris. I take a stress and I don't roll a crit.
By the way, debris, you take damage on damage as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the crit would have made me drop a box.
That's
I believe it is, or is it just damage?
No.
It might just be damage.
Rocks are just damage. Debris,
Yeah.
you take what you roll.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why the crit is the only thing that really mattered there, and it was just a gamble I thought I had to take.
So I roll range 2 into Dirge. I have a deplete that I hadn't shifted from the last turn, so it's 2 dice. I roll 1 hit, 1 blank. I spend the lock for hit crit.
I roll evade blank. Forget that I've took an evade action, so take the crit and drop the box.
I'd like to point out I did offer Sam the opportunity to spend it.
But like, there's takebacks and there's takebacks. Like, I just forgot I'd taken an action because in my mind I was like, aha, I've got to focus though. But I didn't. I took an evade, and so bam, drop the box. And in this thing, I'm like, I've probably lost because I don't think I killed Von Reg. Django has a range 3 shot. I roll hit crit blank.
I roll evade focus blank blank, so I take the crit on the shield. Blackout has a range 3 obstructed shot into Django, so effectively has a range 2 shot into Django.
Yep.
Weapons failure, so I roll focus blank. I roll hit focus. I spend the focus for 2.
I roll evade blank, so I take another shield on Django. Dirge has a range 2 shot into Von Reg. I roll blank crit.
I roll 2 focuses and a blank, so I take a fuel leak.
Von Reg is alive on 1, and I gain 1 point and you gain 2.
Yeah, so it's 13-12, but Von Reg's just gonna die, and it's like he shouldn't have been. Like, what one ship, Django chasing him, fine, but I shouldn't have put him in a position where you're effectively 2-on-1ing me.
Yeah,
and
I think
compounding that with the sloop.
Yeah,
like if I'd literally just carried on by doing a fast straight maneuver and going into that bottom corner.
You know, I think the irony is here. I think the correct result, if we were playing right here, is just a draw, right?
Yeah.
Because realistically, I shouldn't be able to catch Von Reg. I can't catch the other 2. We probably shouldn't be dropping each other's boxes. I actually think the correct result of this game is a draw. But we have turn 12. The clock does go, but we were basically in the middle of setting dials.
I'm first player for turn 12. Now I know Von Reg's probably going to die this turn, so I need to attempt to punish. Like, it's going to take a lot. All right, Dirge has only got 2, but we know for a fact Dirge is recovering 1 of those.
Yes, because of the wounded. There's a wounded pilot there, I believe.
So I do a 3 hard with Wrath and Focus. The lack of boost is really punishing, but
had you not picked up those crates,
I'd have already
pretty
lost.
handily ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Blackout does a 5 straight, sticks him right in front of a debris, because I know it's the last turn. I opt to repair the weapon's failure over
I think that's correct.
Overtaking the mod. Yeah, no, I think that's the correct choice.
So Dirge does a 1 bank to the right and picks up the crate that was on the far right-hand side of the board, because I figure I either drop it or I don't. I need to maintain parity and hope that Django either kills Vonreg or makes one of your ships drop a box.
Yeah. I make the 3rd mistake in a row with Vonreg by doing a 2 bank. What I was hoping to do was cut inside Dirge, which I must have been pretty close for. And then I either bump into Django so we have a range 0 shot, or I cut in past him so we don't. What I should have done, again, was 5 straighted.
Yeah.
Gone up the right-hand side of the rock, probably see where it is, barrel roll away, take a focus. Then I don't take the Dirge shot, and if I'm taking anything, it's a range 3 obstructed from Django.
Django does a 1 bank.
And so if I had gone up there, Django wouldn't have had a shot.
Yeah.
So.
And I take a focus, because I have a range 1 shot into Vonreg and a range 2 at the back into Blackout. I take the range 1 into Vonreg. I roll...
This is me. I'm first player.
Oh, this is Vonreg. Vonreg, range 1 into Django.
So I range 1 into Django. I know that Vonreg's going to die. The only hope I've got is rolling... Well, honestly, average. I've got to do 7 damage to Django, but... I've definitely got a range 1 from Vonreg. I've probably got a range 2 from Blackout, and I'm not sure at the time, but I might have a bullseye from Wrath. So,
yeah. Or at least the ion cannon.
The ion cannon. So I roll 4 dice into him. I roll crit, focus, blank, blank. I opt not to spend the focus on that because
maybe Vonreg lives.
Maybe Vonreg. It's unlikely, but maybe he lives.
I roll a single evade. So now it's my turn, and I go range 1 into Vonreg. I roll 3 hits and a blank.
I roll 2 evades and a blank.
Which means Vonreg is dead. I shoot at the back into Blackout and don't do anything, because I roll hit blank blank, and you roll evade blank blank.
So I don't have the bullseye from Wrath. I have a range 3 obstructed ion cannon, though, so I fire that. I spend the focus for 3.
I get 1 evade, so shield's gone, and an ion onto Django.
And then it is a range 2 unobstructed shot into Django. So I opt not to take that shot, because there's no way I deal 6 damage with no mods. Yeah. I opt to do I think it is range 2 unobstructed into Dirge.
Yeah.
Alright, I've still got to do 3, so I got to roll hot, but it's the slightly more realistic.
Well, here's the thing. If you get it, you win.
Yeah. I roll hit, crit, focus, so I'm like, okay, maybe. Although actually,
I roll 1 evade.
For the crit, it would have to be a direct, and then you'd repair that anyway, so...
Yeah. I roll 1 evade, so I take the crit. I drop the box. I think I can't remember what the crit exactly was, but I live, and it is 18-15.
Yeah. There were definitely ways for me to... Maybe not win it. I mean, actually, there were ways for me to win it, but certainly...
There were...
Certainly.
I think the correct. Let's say the correct. If we both played correctly and we saw like the ways we could have, I think the correct result for this is a draw.
Yeah.
Because I think once Vonreg gets out, we're scoring 2 points around. Vonreg, I basically am guarding the last point, and it's either a draw or one of us luckily sneaks a crit through and the other drops a box.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because. Like, I knew you were bringing this list, and that's like it. As we said at the start, it's quite not. I don't want to say bad matchup, but it's a tough matchup because, as you say, trading does work slightly in your favour. I don't think it's by a lot, but
yeah, but it doesn't need to be a lot. That's the thing, isn't it?
No, exactly.
Like, it was one of those things, like, had I remembered all of the things I brought, Zam lives on, like, 1 health for another turn.
Yeah.
Probably gets another shot. And it's one of those things where it's like, as long as because half point isn't really a thing anymore outside of chance encounter, as long as the fast spray is on 1 health, that is an 8 points pinata that is harder to get than it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But I've got the force, because I'm high initiative, because I can move quite far and boost. Yeah.
Well, on that note, we had better wrap it up because we have been nattering for quite a while tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's fitting. It's
definitely.
the penultimate game, the last truly competitive game, I believe we will be doing for this podcast.
That is fair. So yeah, we'll be back next week with something a bit different. It's another one of our what ifs. We're going to end on a what if, and it's a good one. It's a good one, definitely a good one. We will let you know how we get on at our store event. Should be fun. I believe we've hit the 16 minimum required, so that's excellent.
That's excellent. So there's a world's ticket coming from Cornwall.
Someone's getting a world's ticket. It'll be Kaylee, I guarantee you.
Yeah, almost certainly, right? Like, she'll just rock up, table everyone.
Yeah.
And then go to America.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, ta-ta.
Bye.